This morning you were learning how to use your smart response system. Now what we're going to do is look at the results. So today we're going to be reviewing and evaluating our results and finding our data. So by the end of our section here, we're going to learn how to find the results in our teacher's tool gradebook, and we're also going to learn how to export the results to another gradebook. As educators, we're constantly asking ourselves, did I give a good assessment? Was it successful? Do our students know what they need to know? We also know which students were successful and which students were not successful. That allows us to intervene where we need to and enrich where we need to. We're going to look at several different items in our teacher's tools. We're going to look by sorting our gradebook by results. We're going to look at displaying the properties for a particular student, as well as displaying the properties for a particular assessment. We're also going to look at our answer key, how to adjust our answer key after we've given our assessment. We've all made answer keys that had an incorrect answer, but there's an easy and quick way to fix that and allow it to recalculate the values. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and open our teacher tools. We're going to do that by going up to our menu bar here, and we're going to go over to response, and down to teacher tools. It's down towards the bottom. Now when you open teacher's tools, it looks like it's opening. You saw the little box there flash up, but notice nothing happened. Teacher tools always opens in the background, so I need to go down to my menu bar down here, and notice it's flashing. I'm going to choose my teacher's tools. Now I'm going to have you go ahead and open Miss T's gradebook. That's the gradebook we've been working with this morning. So we have Miss T's gradebook. We have our classes over here under the gradebook, and I'm going to go ahead and choose Science 8B. We've already gone through the process. We've added classes. We've messed around in this a little bit. We're going to look specifically at results right now. So I'm going to choose Science 8B. Now let's open that class for me, and notice I have three tabs up here. I have my Home tab, my Students tab, and I also have an Assessments tab. Let's start with our Students tab. I'm going to go ahead and select my Students tab. Notice that it'll open a screen for us, and I have all of my students listed. Now I can go through and see all my students by scrolling through. I have student ID numbers, last names, first names, and averages. Right now everything is sorted by last name. They're in alphabetical order. Sometimes though I might want to see maybe who's doing the best in the class, who's doing the worst. So what I can do is I can sort this data by clicking up here on one of these column headers. So what I can do, I can click on average, let's say. So my column header here is average. I can click on average, and what it's going to do is sort my students by average. So right now if I scroll to the top, notice it has 50.8% at the top, and then it increases. So it's going in increasing order. If I want to flip that, I can click on average again, and it puts my highest achieving student at the top. So I can do that but any way I want, or for any column header that I want. First name, last name, student ID. We can also do that with assessments. So let's go ahead and click on the Assessments tab. Notice again, you can sort by class average, you can sort by date, which these are automatically sorted by date. You can sort by type, topic, subject, and title. So go ahead and do that on your computer. Go ahead and just click on a title, or click on a column header, and sort them, and see what you can do. Now let's go ahead and look at some specific tests. We want to look at specific tests, see how they did on that specific assessment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and click on one of my assessments. Go ahead and pick one. I'm going to go ahead and pick the top one here, the Texas State Review. When I choose Texas State Review, what happens is it opens this properties area. This area down here. So this is all information specific to the Texas State Review. I also have these property buttons up here. So this first one says properties. It gives us our title, the date. Notice it also has a link here to the file, the notebook file that was used to create the, or to give the assessment. So this is our basic information. I also have a properties button here called performance. If I click on performance, it gives me a bar graph. Apparently here there were 12 questions. It tells me, the green tells me how many answered correct. If I click on one of the bars, it tells me question 1, 18 passed, 11 failed, 2 skipped, and we had nobody absent. So it's also color coded. Green means they passed that question, red means they failed that question, blue means they skipped. So this is a snapshot. Overall, how did they do? I can also look at the results. If I click on the results property button, it gives me the results for every individual student. Now notice this is only an overall average for each student. The red students have failed, the students in black here have passed according to our pass-fail percentage we put in when we created our class. We also have this questions button here. So the questions button, what it does, it brings up our 12 questions. Now, let's go ahead and select one of them. I'm just going to choose the first one. I'm going to select the how long do male guppies grow. I'm going to select that. Notice to the right in the properties area here, we have skipped 6 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and 4 centimeters. And it shows my correct answer as being C, 3 centimeters. It also gives me the occurrence of how many students chose that. So let's say my answer really should have been B, 6 centimeters. What this allows me to do right now, I can go ahead and mark the correct answer and deselect the incorrect answer. That will automatically adjust all the percentages for your students and the overall test. You don't have to go back and refigure anything, it's automatically done for you. We can also look at the properties for a student. We can go and look at individual students. So I want to go back to my Students tab up here and choose Students. Now I'm interested in Dawson right here. I want to choose Dawson. If I select Dawson, in the properties area down here, notice I see the student ID number, the first name, the last name. I can put email in here. I know that she's a female. This is all information I've recorded about my student. Next I want to look at the property button called Performance. So I'm going to choose Performance. Now, student average is in blue, and the class average is in red. So, as you can see, we can track her compared to the class average. So here, she was below class average, below class average. Here she was way above. Here she was almost tied. She was just a little bit above class average. And then in this last assessment, she didn't do very well at all. So we can track her progress compared to the rest of the class. Finally, we have the Results button here. In the Results button, what it does, it lists every assessment that this student has taken, and it gives us the topic, the type, the date, but also it gives us her overall score for that assessment. We can do this for any of our students. We can choose any student, so if I go to Grimes here, it'll bring up Grimes scores, their overall marks. Again, we can sort by column headers. We can change all this. Right now these are all sorted by date. I could also sort them by their scores. I'm going to go back to my notebook file real quick. We looked at how to sort our gradebook results by clicking on the column headers. We looked at the properties for a particular student. We looked at their overall scores. We looked at how they were compared with their classmates. We also looked at displaying the properties for a particular assessment. So we chose the Texas State Assessment. We looked at the overall questions. We were able to change the answers. And here, like we said, we are able to change our answers when we made a mistake on our answer key. So what I would like you to do now is take your response units, and I want you to go with Miss T's gradebook again. Using the Science 8A class, I want you to go ahead and review your answers. I want you to find what was the most recent assessment. So you have 4 questions here to complete, and then we'll go over those results together.